Welcome back, everybody. We've got Matt Mason, part two. Matt, over to you. How are
What's
you?
going on, man? How you doing? It's good to be back.
Man, I mean, thank you so much for coming back. And I know it come out of the blue as well. Like I was just like, Matt, I need you, man. I need you. I need to hear from you. Where are you? How's it going? Yeah, I mean, for the benefit of those who doesn't know you, but then again, everyone knows you. Everyone came here because, you know, but for the benefit of those who don't, maybe just a quick 30 seconds.
Yeah, man. I'm Matt Mason. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Dazzleship. We're a metaverse innovation lab. We have a project called Broadside, which is a pretty expansive metaverse-based storytelling project that I know lots of people watching this will probably be familiar with. Um, Previous to that, I've been involved in Web3, crypto, and decentralized technology for a very long time as chief content officer at Palm NFT Studio, working on Batcowls and other projects there. Kraken, CMO before that, BitTorrent back in the day, and then a background in the music industry before that. But yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be building in this bear market, as
Mm,
cold as it is.
mm,
I still think it's a real blessing to be in this space right now.
mm, I would reiterate that. I would say it's really tough right now, and but intimate, and I feel like on our micro community, it's like you spend a lot of time with everybody. Like not just you're getting to know what people want intimately, you know what I mean, like and their hopes and dreams, so this is an interesting concept to me. But yeah, I mean, from the previous interview that we've had, and by the way, blew me up, in my opinion anyway, like blew me up, like unknown channel, you come over, but then I feel like we know each other, like
Yeah, man.
I was in spaces, we were spaces together, we're sharing an experience, you were the creator, we're the consumer. But it's also always live feedback within each other, it's something you can't really explain, and probably gonna get documented in Netflix one day. you know um I don't doubt it, like it's something different.
Yeah,
um
it is, man. It is like with anything I do, like someone asks me to do a podcast or something, and I don't know them, I obviously always go and check, like, well, what are your subscriber numbers? Like, who are you? Like, what are you doing? Like, and and I'll always do it if it seems like it's interesting. It's not
mm,
about the like subscriber number, but you want to know, right? Like where you
mm,
put your time. If anyone in any of the NFT communities that I am part of asks me anything, I'm there, and I can't give you a good reason why. I just act like I'm just like, yeah, like there's a number of people in Broadside and Batcowls who have my cell phone number have been on the phone with me at like midnight because they needed something,
mm,
or I just wanted to like make sure I was there for someone, and I can't tell you
mm,
exactly. It's just like no, that this is community, this is technology enabling community in a way that I haven't seen before, and I've been here since like before the internet. Like
mm,
this is new, and like I know a lot of people outside of Web3 don't see this,
mm,
but we inside it, we know. Like if you're here, like there's something different happening.
mm. I mean, I would build on that, and I would even say, like, um what would you describe this kind of thing that we're in? Because it's like instant feedback loops and
Mm.
unfiltered, right? I think this is where, like, like Web3 is like the Wild West, like,
Okay, yeah, I can
yeah,
describe.
you know where I'm kind of going with this. It's
Yeah,
like, um it's kind of, the media always censors you, or let's say like the Elon Musk interview, I'm just gonna say that, like the first one. And by the way, I sent you like a preliminary questionnaire, and it ended up being 2 pages, and I'm like, we're never gonna get through this, so let's just see what we get to.
that's
um Yeah, and let's say the BBC, like they did like an Elon Musk interview, and I've seen it for the first time. It was 10 minutes long, like 15 minutes long on their clips, and it was like edited out to say like, right, this is what was said. And then I actually watched I tried to watch the full interview, and it was like 90% of it was cut, but it was just shown the way it was. Whereas You go in Web3, you put the mic on in Spaces or in Twitter, like almost nothing is censored. I mean, especially like Web3 as well. What do you make of this? Go ahead. Like, what's your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Well, look, this is just this is really about the architecture of the media we have. So, like, you look at something like an Elon Musk interview that's been edited for the BBC audience, right? It's a massive audience. It's an
Mm,
entire nation you're talking to.
mm,
That is broadcast. Like, it's one-way communication to a massive audience. You have to distill things down. Like when you do TV,
mm,
quick answers, like
mm,
5-10 seconds. The interviewer is cutting you off. You've got to be so sharp. Like anytime I've had to go on TV, like I've been in that BBC building. You walk into Television
wow.
Centre in the West End and done news interviews there. You go in and you have to have like 5 preloaded tweetable truth bombs in your head. You're going to get out in like 10 seconds because you're getting cut off and you're on to the next after 10 seconds.
Mm,
That's a very different, like, broadcast was about one-to-many communication.
mm,
And then the internet enabled, we had two-way communication, we had broadcast, we had the telephone, and then the internet was many-to-many communication. And layer 1 of the internet, or Web 1,
mm,
was really just the first expression of that. Web 2 was about monetizing that. And that's when you start to see points of centralization where you can actually capitalize on that attention or monetize it or leverage it in some other way.
mm,
And Web3 is that sort of next evolution where it's trying to get back to that Web 1 architecture, but keep the ways to leverage and capitalize on attention, but put them in control of the user to push intelligence and control to the edge. That is the point of a decentralized architecture. Like, this is what we were dreaming about at BitTorrent back in the day.
mm,
And it's finally starting to happen.
mm.
But yeah, it looks messy. And right now it's so early. Like the plumbing is like have you ever seen a bathroom like half finished, the tiles aren't in yet, and like you can't, the bathtub's not there, but you can see the pipes in the wall.
Mm,
Like that's where we are right now.
mm.
We think we're like in this space and it's like finished, and it's like, bruv, you're going to the toilet in a half finished bathroom right now. That's Web3 right now. That's probably not bad. That's probably not the best. If we're on BBC, they'd edit that out. But like, it's just like, it's not here. It's
Yeah.
not
No.
finished. It doesn't work properly. Nobody's ready for it yet, or
No.
it's not ready for everybody yet, to be more accurate. But
And
that's an opportunity.
yeah, I mean, it's scary. I mean, to me, but it's also like one of the most honest things you'll see, right? It's like
Mhm.
I almost feel trapped in a reality show, like when you're in a reality show and then like we have these like personas we put on with our NFTs in our like we or you know what I'm saying here, like
Yeah,
you put some sort of persona on, but then also how much of it is you, the real you. It's crazy, and sometimes you think that, like, by the way, Matt, like, another a quick fire question, like, Charlie Stratford, who is Charlie Stratford, by the way? I mean, Matt, no, I
I
mean,
don't, you know as much as I do at this point.
and why do you keep missing these why do you keep missing the Broadside shows? Like, I don't understand, like,
Yeah,
why, like, what is happening?
mate,
you know
you know what, I'm busy, and it's just it's just like a timing thing. It's just like it's whatever the opposite of serendipity is. That's
yeah.
it. I can't be everywhere at once. I'm not.
Yeah,
I wish I could be in 2 places at once, but I can't.
yeah. So are you like, I don't know, are you busy like with the admin? What's happening? And there are some spreadsheets you have to attend to. Like, it's the
There's a
case
lot.
that, every
Yeah,
time Charlie's on, you seem to be gone. Like, come on, what's happening?
yeah. Look, there's a lot of spreadsheets to do. There's the balance sheet, the profit and loss. Someone's got to answer the phones. There's filing. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to do, and Charlie's not going to do it.
You need to delegate this to Vector or somebody. Would they? They won't do it, will they? I mean,
They won't do it. Like the shit all rolls downhill onto me, unfortunately. This is what happens when you work with, divas like Vector and Charlie, like big creatives. I carry them on my shoulders.
yeah, it's
People
difficult.
know I'm like Cinderella and they're the ugly sisters, is how I feel about it.
Okay, all right. But yeah, yeah, I went for a full interview with you and not even asked you about Charlie. It just, okay, cool. Where are we? Sorry, I just remember that. Sorry, back to Web3 concepts. It's one of those kapows I wanted to give you. You probably weren't expecting that. But sorry, for Web3 concepts. And to be honest, like that's what I loved most about what we talked about last time. And like I said, if we can do a Web3 series, if you're down for it, it's basically I want it, like it's difficult to cover everything you want in one hit. And it's like for a fact that this is like we're building as we go along, as you said. But
Mm.
it's tough to nail down one concept like effectively without planning it, like so surreal. Like for example, I want to jump into self custody and mass adoption just because they're
Mm.
really hot right now. But you could probably give me quips, but it won't. It's like I'd love to see if we can explore that. I mean, I would love for you to bring yourself and maybe a guest as well from Broadside, one of your Broadside guests up. And
Mhm.
I would love to have that if they have some intimate knowledge on. Sorry, yeah.
What's
Um,
going on with your microphone? Can we do a series on your mic? Is the metaverse in there? What is
oh,
that?
I So the mic story is I brought my whole setup from a poker tournament winning, and I only did this for the laughs, right? I'd never thought I'd be doing such important interviews on this. So I probably do need an upgrade. I need to upgrade my like video cam, where I live. So I'm moving to London next month, and I'm gonna get better internet. I'm gonna like do a full setup gig, but my life's messy right now. I'm
Mate,
due.
man,
I'm
you're
due
doing it well.
I'm due to move and hopefully get married the next 6 months. So you won't see any like flashy purchases from me. At least I'm trying not to because I'm trying to build a family and like move. But I promise you, I will buy a new mic.
Mate, love it. Don't do it on my account.
Okay.
Congratulations, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm very lucky. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the. There's this concept that you talked about last time about. What do you think about hype? Because I think you're a master of hype myself,
Mm.
Matt. I mean, I remember when Batcowls pre-launched, right? Um, Let me just type this out.
Yeah, man.
Um, like you talked about, and this to me was one of the most powerful concepts you said in a previous chat. It took me a while to kind of think, but then I see how you've executed with Palm, how it's a slow burn, and how you're doing a slow burn with Broadside as well. Like like all right, you're bringing out stuff in a short term hype, but
Mm.
then there's a master plan for long term sustainable value. I guess what I'm trying to say, like the question really here is a lot of the things in the NFT space right now are like hype, 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 gone. And is
Mhm.
that to do more with people that want to make a quick money? Or what do you see this as? I mean, this is, you said the bear market is the time to build. Talk to me, man. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think if you're building something or launching something, like hype is part of the equation. But anything I've ever launched or built, books, games, websites, ad campaigns, NFT projects, it doesn't matter. There's a hype cycle. Like it goes like that, and then it levels off somewhere. And even if you're building something with real long-term sustainable value, could be anything, not necessarily just an NFT project. But when you launch something, that's when you're going to get the most attention on it, the most hype, or when you update it, or when there's a new kind of iteration of whatever that thing is. Hype is part of the equation if you're marketing anything,
mm,
but you can't live and die on hype alone. Can you still see me and hear me?
I can, yeah, yeah, yeah. Are
Weird.
you
My whole computer just went like screensaver. Anyway, um,
okay?
yeah, like it's part of the equation. It has to be part of the plan.
Mm,
But if you're hyping something and then not delivering on it afterwards, especially in this space, right? People notice that, and they're
mm,
so used to that. That is the default, right? Is that
mm,
most of these projects are rugs. And I remember talking to OSF about this, and he was sort of saying, "Yeah, but like 90% of startups fail, right? And that's all we're doing. It's not. There's no guarantees here. There's less guarantees here."
mm,
Right? You're investing in startups. I wouldn't say this to the SEC, but that's even if you, as a project, like you're not meaning to do that. People who are buying NFTs are expecting them to go up in value. Whether you say it's a worthless value utility token, please don't buy it for that reason. But the reason the lawyers make you say that is because That is what that has to be true,
Mm.
regardless of whether you think you think it's going to go up in value, and regardless of whether it does or doesn't go up in value. That has to be the bedrock on which we all understand that we're building this thing. We've no idea what's going to happen to it. If you want to buy one, great, but like there's no guarantees. That's every NFT project.
Mm.
Obviously, as a founder, you want to communicate that you are building something that you think will have some kind of long-term sustainable either value or just like or not, right? Or no, this is a piece of art or this is a thing and we think it's going to be fun and you should buy one.
Mm.
But I don't think anyone, I'm always the most wary of people in this space who are talking about their idea of what the floor price might look like in 6 months or anything, because you have no idea. And you talk to most today or most companies, everybody's down bad, like really bad. VC backed, amazing projects, millions of users doing lots of it. Like, Web3 brands are down, all of them. Everybody is struggling. Like if a market goes down 90% over, for an extended period of time, we're like a year into this right now, shit's going to change, right? I'm not talking about any specific projects here. I'm talking about all of them. There was a moment a few weeks ago, there were 7,000 active wallets in the NFT space globally.
That is small.
7,000. I've DJ'd in front of more people than that, right? Like, come on. Like, that's bad.
That's bad.
That is bad. And that's where we are, right? And it's not, I think it's definitely coming back now and there's all kinds of stuff happening. But, this is crypto winter. This is what it looks like. It's not my first one. I think this is my third one, but it's rough. People are going to go out of business. Projects are going to go away. Founders are going to rug. And I feel for them because those founders, we talk about founders who've rugged as like, oh, these are like, bad people. Sometimes they are. There's a lot of bad actors in the space, straight up fast rugging people, stealing their money. There's also people who've been building something they really care about for a number of years, and it's just not happening, right? Those people are founders. When I see that happening, I empathize. The mental health of those people is the first thing I think about, because this shit is rough. It's rough right now if you're doing well,
No, thank you for that. I mean, I guess there's a shift now towards like being a collector, like that's the kind of thing that companies are, big IP NFTs are kind of pushing, right? Okay, you buy without an expectation of immediate return. I guess where am I trying to say with that? I guess that's true for anything you get right now, right? I mean, unless you're purposefully buying a meme coin or something,
which
what
is
would you
why you're
say?
seeing that happen, right? Which is exactly why you're seeing that happen. So, like the first thing you said, the sort of the perception of, it's not just large IPs, by the way. I think everybody really building in Web3 feels that way. It's like the speculation that drives so much of the volume and sales in the NFT space. This is unsustainable. That is hype versus long-term sustainable value. Hype is the subculture of NFT flipping and trading and crypto art that we have now. That is hype. Long-term sustainable value is NFTs are tracking 1 trillion items through global supply chains, and IBM and this company and that company is using them, and it's boring and you can't buy that shit and flip it for a profit quickly. And no, like the long-term boring future of NFTs is not someone getting 11,000% returns on a picture of a funky elephant or whatever. Shout out to Funky Elephants if that's a real project.
You probably
like,
one in the 7,000.
Right? That's it. It's like, and so now, like, the people who are really building and I like to think Broadside's in that cohort. Like, we're working on stuff every day that people aren't necessarily going to see for 6 months, and doing stuff every day, dropping episodes, doing all the things we said we would, doing a bunch of things we never said we would, working with an amazing community who are doing things we had no idea they would even do, and trying to support them and do all that. And that's great. But if 90% of the market's going away, and if everybody's jumped into meme coins right now because you can get an 11,000% return over there, it doesn't matter what we build, right?
Mm,
So I sort of don't, the metrics in the market, I don't worry about right now because that is the hype, good or bad.
mm,
And the long term sustainable stuff is like, you've got to, that's what you got to keep building. Like to me, it's like everything's like boxing is always a good metaphor. Like
mm.
you're boxing and you're getting hit in the face. Like as you're getting hit in the face, you have to remain calm. And if you're like, oh my God, I'm getting hit in the face, you're going to panic and get hit in the face again,
I need
right?
to find that clip of you boxing right now. I think. I think so. I mean, I need to feature it. Hang on a second. I mean, I did not expect. I mean, I always knew you were an edgy kind of authentic like intelligent pirate mastermind, but I never. I mean, I guess I knew you could fight too. Like, it's pretty cool, man. Like, let me just find that. Hang on.
I can't fight. I can barely box. Boxing is great for mental health because it teaches you this. It trains you to be like this, right?
Mm,
Like it trains you to deal with adversity in terms of if you're
mm,
getting hit in the face, you have to remain calm and
mm,
you have to be letting go of that lizard brain part of you that's like, holy shit, I'm literally getting punched in the face right now. I can
mm,
feel like my nose exploded. You have to be looking at your opponent through that, thinking about where their other hand is and what you're going to do next and your footwork and the next 10 moves in front of you as you're getting punched in the face.
mm.
And that is such a great metaphor for being in Web3 right now because every day you wake up and it's like there's a bank melted or like some
Mm.
other thing happened. And it's like,
Fights happen, right? In like
I mean, even
my comments,
yeah, I don't
everything is
even
here.
watch that. I don't even watch that stuff.
Ah,
Like
yeah.
that doesn't even matter. But like, yeah, you've got to be able to deal with adversity in this space and in this moment right now. And if you're paying attention to the short term things on any project, and I'm not saying this about my projects, I'm saying this about everybody in the space. Like I talk to so many founders and so many people running companies in Web3. And if you look at their stats, like whether they've got a token or a coin or they've got an NFT with a floor price, and everything's down really bad, but behind the scenes, like those people are working hard and they're doing great deals and there's good stuff coming. And
Mm.
in the short term, maybe none of that stuff will matter because everyone's buying meme coins or they're not here at all because they gave up on Web3 in last year at some point.
I mean, I will just reiterate on this and thank you for that message to the founders. And I'm sure a lot of them, will be watching because it's like a lot of them are trying to build too, and it's like it's a bit lukewarm right now, and it's true, and it's
Mm.
it's true for content creators. For me, like my channel, it's taking forever for me. Like I'm like, what is happening? Some apparently somebody, pirates told me, right? He was like, dude, someone dropped 2 videos on VV and they had like 1,000 subscribers during the bull run or something like that, and like now like I like gotta beg people to retweet you at least.
Mm.
It's crazy right now. Now I just want to quickly just reiterate this point. Now this is just my opinion, you don't have to comment on it, but I do see like everyone has a flipping and collecting strategy, especially with NFTs or crypto, and I hope everyone does have one, because you can't just be one or, well, I don't know, again, you could be one or the other, it's up to you. But yeah, there's two schools of thought. One is like not hold the NFT bag and just be there to like sell the hype, and then let go of the bag. You don't want to be the last person holding the bag. Everyone's kind of afraid of that, like this, especially if they're really clever flippers. And I have like one of my good friends, or he's even flipped from $304 to 30 grand. Maybe it's worth 20 now, but like he's done some flipping moves. Good for, I guess, good for Palm, because he's generated a lot. He told me he's generated more volume for cow sales in the last 2 months for his entire flipping thing. So it's, yeah, for that one person. So I'm saying like everybody's like included here, but just want to make a comment. So that's one school of thought, but then there are people I know, and including I have strategies in that myself, that sometimes I buy things because, and I secure, like I'm not okay. Let me go into traits. Like I chase traits because long term, I want to lock it down, because if it gets locked in someone's vault, you can't find that anymore. Like that piece might be as unique as it is, and it's like banking in it long term. Like you don't like it's not there for me to flip short term. It's there for me to secure it, because what if everyone chases it? What if we achieve this holy grail kind of moment where we've just flipped into bullish mode? and then suddenly what? I'm gonna start chasing those items then? Like, no, no, I'm do it now, because I believe in it long term. So to me, that's the two trends of thought. Like, I don't know if you have any more
Mhm.
to say on that. I guess that's just for me to tell my stream and my audience, but
Yeah. I think look, the way, well, I'm the wrong person to talk to about this. I'm not a good NFT trader. I've never traded an NFT.
mm,
Any NFT I've bought, I still have. I don't think I've
right.
ever sold an NFT. I've given a lot of people broadsiders. I've never sold a broadsider to anyone, and I've never sold any DC NFTs to anyone. I'm the wrong person to ask. I have no idea. I don't have a flipping and collecting strategy. I'm a hoarder. My NFT wallet is just things that I'm going to the grave with. But that's how But I'm like a weirdo, man. Like I've loved this shit forever. Like
Mm,
I just buy things because I like. I have creeps and weirdos. I have hash marks. I have really early NFTs.
mm,
But I'm never letting go, and I'm definitely never letting them go of them now because they're really early NFTs. Um, but look, I think the way I think about, if I'm talking to people who ask me about should I build an NFT project,
mm,
and again this gets back to long term sustainable value. The thing I say to people is don't build because you think you're going to sell someone a funky elephant that they're going to flip for 100 grand in 5 minutes time, because you're not going to build the right thing, and they won't. No one will care, and none of that will happen.
mm,
Think about the people you're selling to.
mm,
Think about the people they might sell to,
mm,
and think about the people after that. Like, why is there long term sustainable value in what you're doing? Is it an interesting project? Is it being done in a way that hasn't been done before that will stand the test of time? I think Cows definitely ticks that box, right? I think if you look at anything with DC3, like these are digital interpretations of known collectible items. I think it ticks that box. With Broadside, it was like this is the most immersive storytelling
oh
project
yeah,
anybody's done. Yeah, that's going to matter in 10 years' time. I don't care I don't know what the floor price is going to be. I can't tell you. I have no idea. I don't know who will be holding them.
mm,
But we did this then, and if Web3 matters then, which I think it will, I don't know, um, that will matter, right? And I've built very fungible storytelling based things in the past that mattered immensely to everything I did in the future. Like no one, I'm still earning dividends of what we did at Rewind because people from 20 years ago remember that, or from writing Pirates Dilemma because people 10 years ago read that, and those things matter. So I sort of have this longer term view of just build something valuable, put your heart and soul in it, um, and if it's cool, if it matters, yeah, it will take care of itself. But like, you can't start thinking about like trading strategies and candles. I don't care if people do that on my project. That's a symptom of it being a good project.
mm. Oh man, oh my God, we can definitely dig into everything else. Like, so, again, I'm looking at time. I mean, for me, right? Gosh, what's my next question? God, there's so many. Um, I will get into Broadside, Matt. I'm just building into
Whatever works for you, man.
Yeah. So for me, one of the hot topics as well is self custody, Matt. And I know I just want to do this justice because okay, so just looking at time now. For me, what are your thoughts on self custody? Because let me tell you my story. I got my account disabled over at Vivi, right? And I watched my portfolio. Like, obviously I got in early anyway, but I watched it sink to like minus 90. I'm just telling you my personal story, so I could definitely relate to like going, please, can you let me go? I am trapped. I like these are my assets. Like, I feel unsafe with it. I mean,
Mm.
I got it back eventually, but it's something I'd never wish on my worst enemy. You know what I mean? Especially if I know some people like remortgage their houses and like put their mom's inheritance money in it. Like, I know, and these stories exist, especially like in the peak of January last year. And
Mm-hmm.
some people are insecure and they know, like, let's say like, I want self custody of my cows, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um and because I know what these things are long term, I just want them. I want my keys. Give me my keys. What's your thoughts on that? And it's that one of the pillars of Web3, I guess, right? I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is. I mean, look, first of all, I think the main problem, like if you get yourself in a situation like that and like it's your mum's inheritance or your mortgage on the line, that's on you. It doesn't matter about self custody or any asset. Like nobody should be. That is degenerate gambling shit. You shouldn't
Mm,
be doing that.
mm,
Like I gamble on NFTs and meme coins all the time. I lose money on things in a wholly unhealthy, degenerate way, but I do it with less than 1% of my income. Like never mind my net worth, and it's nowhere near my. It's not my 401k. It's not my retirement plan. And I
mm,
realize I'm in a very blessed situation to be able to go and even take a little bit of disposable income and do that.
mm,
But that's the only way you should mess around with anything in this space, whether there's self custody or not. On the issue on self custody, look, like not your keys, not your coins. That's the thing people have been saying in crypto forever because it's true. And when you get your account disabled somewhere, you feel the sharp end of that. Right? That's
mm,
real.
mm,
The other side of that is the sort of the Web 2.5, the onboarding the next billion people is if you wanted to, especially in 2021,
mm,
when a lot of companies are trying to onboard a lot of large publicly traded companies into crypto, with very nervous legal teams, understandably so. Like it's the Wild West. You're a publicly traded company. People don't want to hear about, and also just from a user experience point of view, right? People
mm,
didn't want to hear about MetaMask wallets or decentralized exchanges if you're trying to sell, whatever NFT to literally an IP with millions of fans, and you're thinking about those fans. Like, how do you make a great experience for them?
mm,
And the tech, this gets back to that we're in this unfinished bathroom where the plumbing, you can see it all, right?
mm,
You
mm,
can see the MetaMask wallet. You got to put in your seed phrase. Like the idea that any of this is going to scale with people writing down codes on pieces of paper and hiding them in their under their beds or wherever, it has always been just absolutely fucking bananas to me. That's not going to
mm,
work. Like Ledger, I think are the worst offenders of this. I love the Ledger team. I know them, a lot of them personally, but I always hear that as their business, right? It's like self custody. You got to have a ledger. You should have a ledger. But if we think a billion people are going to do that, like this is the most pig ignorant shit I hear engineers at Silicon Valley companies say about any product before Web3. Like, well, this is what the user has to do. And you're like, well, they're not going to do that.
mm,
As a marketing person, I'm like, I understand how fucking lazy they are because I see the
mm,
conversion funnel where 90% of people drop off if you ask them to click one more button. So I'm telling you, they're not going to do X, Y, Z, write a
mm,
thing down, do this, do that.
mm,
And you hear engineers say, well, they're just going to have to. And I'm
mm.
like, well, they fucking won't. And they'll just use the other thing. And that's the end of your company. And we need to think about this in Web3, right? We have to make shit easier for people. And there is this tension between security, decentralization, making things easier. Like you can't always do both things. I feel like I threw too much shade at Ledger just then. Like I have a Ledger, I love what they're doing, but like, and I'm sure 10 years time, their company is going to be doing something that's way easier to use. But right now, it's really hard to do those things.
Yeah.
I completely understand why. Look, the Batcowl community, I see a lot of people. They want their keys. I totally understand it. We promised them those. As last I saw, and I haven't spoken to anyone at Palm directly on this in a few weeks. But last tweet I saw from Andrew was like, "We're doing this," and like I know that's the plan. But like I said, like it's been rough in crypto, and there's so many things Palm is working on. There's so many things DC is working on. Roadmaps slip at every company I've ever worked at. Things change. You can't always tell everybody exactly why things have changed. But I believe the team when they say, if they're saying this is coming,
Mm,
then I believe that it is coming.
mm. Yeah. We are in every second in Web3 is like multiply that by 10. And if especially if you're in spaces all day, things take a lot longer. With
That's
this
why you don't see me on spaces, I'm working.
see, I always ask you that, and I always, to me as well, it's like I'm working and I don't just want to put it on because I could stay there all day. It's so addictive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we will get onto that, but just want to finish off on this. Yeah, no, I believe it's a pillar Web3 concept, and especially for Palm, like I have faith that they will deliver in this. Yes, it's not fast enough that what people want it, but I do believe that. And just to finish off as well, where does mass adoption come in? You know, when they have 50 million concepts to learn and to install a wallet, and you're right, it's the comfort. Like, where does, let's say someone over at Vivi when the bull run was happening and everyone was jumping on, right? Let's say I don't know how many of those were true people or not, but then let's just say everyone, like your grandma, was jumping onto there. You know, she's probably not gonna want to buy a Trezor or a Ledger and then and then make a MetaMask and then make sure, like, you know, this is tough right now unless,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, some sort of AI mechanism from Elon Musk comes along and like, right, you got like, and but then even chipping your brain, right? Like you're like, unless it becomes like that, it's self custody, like, oh, you like it's
Mm-hmm.
imprinted into your soul. It's tough to onboard people, but like I said, yeah, I mean, I completely understand, and from
I think that's how Web3 is going to happen. Honestly, not necessarily like Elon Musk chipping our souls or whatever, but like
mm,
you're not going to notice it. Is the point? And I think like that, what we saw in 2021, which looked pretty grotesque to most of the outside world, right?
what's that?
Like,
Sorry, what happened?
well, like Paris Hilton holding up her Bored Ape that she bought for $1 million, and it's like the average American has less than $400 in their account. And you think about that, and you think about the way NFTs looked from the outside. That's not how you're going to. And this whole thing, I've said this about crypto. I was saying this to the team at Kraken when I was CMO at Kraken. Like, this shit looks ugly to everybody from the out. It's a bunch of bros in fucking gold Lamborghinis. No one's has any idea what the fuck they're doing, but they assume it's nothing good for society, right? And that's where Web3, like, we have a problem with Web3. I don't think we have this is not a Batcowl problem, or this our micro community within this community. It's not necessarily our problem. It's not a crypto art problem, but there's this sort of this gaudiness about everything because there's so much money, crazy sums of money. That's all people hear about. That's not how you onboard people. You'll get a bunch of grifters coming in and try to do things because they hear about this money, but like this isn't how cloud computing scaled. This isn't how SaaS scaled. Like if you think about really boring but very necessary and really beneficial to society layers of tech scaled as industries, it happens slowly. It happens, you
Mm,
know, with people doing very laborious work and building very boring systems that eventually get adopted into larger and larger ecosystems, and they're almost invisible to everyone. And you don't necessarily know the difference between what's happening client side and server side on your phone. You just know that this thing works better than it did last year, and you probably didn't even notice that. And that's how most tech at the level of like, you know, Web3 is plumbing, right? And these things that we're doing on the top, like the NFTs and
mm,
stuff, these kind of like little cool shiny examples, they're really fun, and I love them and you love them. But like for this to really scale, like this has got to be, it's going to be, I think the kind of next wave of buyers is kids who have been just okay with skins in Fortnite forever. Like they're growing up, right?
oh man,
And they're
I
not going to
remember
be.
that interview that you had with comics and crypto. I was like, yes, yes, Matt, talk about those skins. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
Going to be skins, but listen, like it's not going to be like Web3 isn't going to be the collectibles that we're. It's like if baseball started, like year one of baseball, the entire baseball sport industry started with 10,000 people trying to sell each other the rarest baseball cards. Like that's where it's like, no, like go and learn to play fucking baseball. Go and learn to throw a ball. Like build a stadium, cook some hot dogs, like make it interesting for
Oh, you
everybody
make me
else.
hungry. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like it's like, and that's where we're at with it. Like, it's mass adoption doesn't look anything like this thing that we've got now. It doesn't mean the things that we're doing now aren't super, super important. It doesn't mean some of the things that we're building now won't be super valuable collector's items in, you know, years time. 90% won't, right? They just won't.
Mm,
But the things that we're building now and the people that are here actually building and doing stuff together now, like, yeah, I mean, I can tell you from being in previous waves of the internet, like this is the gold dust, man.
Mm, man. And like how everything is coming out the first time, we're learning new strategies every time, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
the consumer like, how, okay, let's jump onto the next thing. Okay, let's chase it. But then how many good ideas are killed because people have dumped it? You know, I remember this coin came out, or the real estate coin or whatever. Watch out this, and then he made his forex, got the fuck out of there, and I'm like, I feel bad for this coin. Like, all right, well, will this coin actually do the noble purpose it set out to be, or did it just die a horrible death because it got pump and dumped? Like, you know, how many of those are there? Like, I feel bad, man. Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, gosh, where are we? I think we covered self custody, mass adoption. Um, well, before we jump into broadside, spaces, man, like it's now the reality show, right? Like 24/7 spaces. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to ATL,
That's ATL.
Rubius, gosh, King, everybody, right? They're there, man. It's the same core of people that I was with Hero. Like we were just there chilling. Like, you know, we've come out and same core people still there, man. Like they're there hovering. Um, it's crazy, man. Like what do you make of that? Like just this,
Mm.
like your brain, and then I don't think I've ever spent more time even with my family, you know. It's just
Mm.
crazy, right? What do you make of that? Like, and how do
Yeah.
you think, is that like a is that like a heaven for some of the brands, just like listening to direct to
Mhm.
feedback to their consumers, or what do you make of it?
Yeah, I think it can be. I think that's a potential thing that, like, if that behavior that we see in the Batcowls community scales to other communities, and you definitely see other communities that are as committed and dedicated, building together and
Hmm.
spending a lot of time together. And I think it gets back to the value being like, where does the value get captured? And that going back towards people who are holders. I mean, all this is happening on a Web 2 layer, right? All this is happening on Twitter, and I think the thing that's changed is PFPs allow people to see each other, and people are forming communities in a way that, everybody who follows DC Comics is not as tight a community as everybody who has a Batcowl as their profile picture, right? Like, that is just a different level of, oh, we see each other, so now we're going to get together more. But the longer term, the thing that like, everyone's down bad on NFTs,
Hmm.
everyone's down bad on the metaverse, like, like, volumes down, VC funding has evaporated for all this stuff. Like, it's just like there's no interest. But long term, if you look at, like, the sort of macro stats, like hyperstructural stats on just where humanity is, I think betting on people, especially younger generations, do you think they're going to spend more time together in virtual spaces or less time? Do you think
More.
they're going to want to own the things they wear? If Gen Z is already buying like an insane number of wearables, do you think they're going to spend more time and money on digital objects or less?
Hmm.
Do you think the explosion of AI is going to increase the need for blockchain to prove provenance, or we're just going to somehow do all that in a giant spreadsheet? Like, all of the macro signals long term on where this is going culturally, I think are really good. And the one I think about the most, honestly, is mental health and the kind of crisis
Mm,
of loneliness.
mental health, man.
People keep saying, like, what the fuck is the metaverse for? And I'm like, that's what it's for. Like that, and I'm the same as you. Like, like, I spend time with people in ways that, like, right before I jumped on this call, I was hanging out with Vector and Neon and Eclectic and some of the Cult Crypto Art crew on inside an NFT that Neon Glitch dropped yesterday, of kind of the Last Supper with Xcopy and people, where they built it in 3D, put it on Cyber, and Eclectic was just DJs, like 50 people. It's probably still going on if you get on Twitter.
Oh
Actually, this is
wow.
2 days time, so don't worry about it. But
Oh
like,
wow.
but that's like, like, those are friends of mine, and that's just one circle of people I'm part of.
Hmm.
Um, because of Web3 that I'm not part of anywhere else. But like, when I'm hanging out in a room with people like that,
Hmm.
like, yeah, that's gang. Those people are fucking awesome. We build shit together. We're always doing fun stuff together. That's true in Batcowls. That's true in Broadside. It's true in Broadside in the metaverse. It's true in Discord. It's true on Twitter. And it's slightly different cohorts in each one. And you multiply that by the billions of people and communities and connections that we can have between each other. You scale this behavior that we're seeing now. Like that, I mean, that's what I'm bullish about. Like that's a bright future. And shit, if this shit can help cure some of this like crisis of loneliness and mental health of the entire world, like this is the shit that people look at what we're doing like this is the most frivolous bullshit. Like,
No.
I don't think it is. I think there's something here.
I think, Matt, to me, right? So Broadside, right? If you don't know Broadside, it's they have like chapters that you can mint, basically written by Matt and Vector and Charlie. Who the heck is Charlie? I'm still honestly. Anyway, um, but to me, Broadside Spaces is like a safe haven for love, man. One love. Like I don't know. Like I come in, like I know what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get some good music, some funny quips, like with friends. Like, and you can feel like you guys are friends. You don't just it's authentic stuff. Like I come in there, and it doesn't matter. Like, and there's people that come in spaces like different members of the community that. All right, they might have been in a fight yesterday. They might have had a Twitter finger battle or like actual verbal battle in spaces, and they would all just chill around Broadside. Like it doesn't matter where they're from, Batcowls, VV, wherever else, or whether they like Artifact or not. But we're all chilling there, and like to me, that's Matt. To me, that is like the one place where it's like, all right, you can lay down your arms, just chill. Like man, that's what it means to me, like the most, like and then how I can get hear from the experts that you bring in, you know, and just one of those things I look forward to. So that's Broadside to me. Um, anyway, where are we? Yeah, I mean, do you want to just talk about like the current things in Broadside? I mean, Dollars, amazing guy. I mean, I want to have him on as well. I want to get to
Yeah.
know him. I want to get to know Dollars and hopefully he has some tracks that you want to drop on my channel. Vector's VRM, Vector commenting on Pepe's, your boxing routine. What else? I'm gonna just do a quick rundown. I'm doing this for you. John Cena, versus Matt Mason. Vector Meldrew well, versus
Everyone.
Matt Mason. Yeah, is there anything that you want to? And by the way, Matt, that hoodie looks nice, and it's like I feel like you have a new merch every time we come on. And I thought I'd come in with my Batman, like first appearance, press with a Batman shirt, but I'm waiting for my Broadside stuff, Matt. Where is it, Matt?
This is a prototype. I probably shouldn't be wearing it. This is the Broadside, the Metaverse World Tour hoodie.
Oh, that's so
This is we're working on the final version of this now. But the Broadside, like we have this concept like we just came up with that we're in so many metaverses. We're always getting asked to go DJ places and do things. So we're like, yeah, let's do the Metaverse World Tour. That's funny. Like where it's just like because it's so improvised and people are like, can you come and do a party tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, okay.
Hang on a second. Are you dropping a hint on a potential real life event? Is that what you're saying to me? Like a real life rave?
Wait,
Yeah.
we just did well. We didn't
Yes,
just
NFT.
we did NFT NYC.
Yeah.
We're doing non-fungible conference in Lisbon next month or next week now, whenever it is. And there'll be more of those for sure. And plus we're doing some big parties in metaverses. We're doing a really fun party next week. An idea that we literally came up with yesterday, and we started to mobilize various people in the crypto community around it last night, and they were just like, that's fucking hilarious, let's go. So I can't say what that is just yet, but look out for that. Yeah, we're just always trying to figure out like how do we do fun things, how do we work with talented people and be a conduit between music and Web3 and culture. But I think the thing for me, like that thing you said about music is that's always been true of music. Like the reason gangs stopped fighting in the Bronx was because Africa Bambaataa recognized the power of hip hop to help people organize and mobilize together and feel less and feel more empowered. And that's what he saw, how music did that. Same time as David Mancuso at the Loft, like pioneering disco music, was understanding if I get black and white, gay, straight, Latino people, everybody, rich, poor, on the same dance floor, they will understand they're all one. Like this oneness that music brings people together, like the way that, like that will always be true of music. And I think it's going to be a lot of music-driven subculture that's actually going to be the growth engine for the metaverse. And so, like, I don't know, like any NFT project now that doesn't have like a beating sort of cultural heart, those are the ones I worry about the most. Unless it's some like in crazy new first one-of-one use of the blockchain to do something no one ever did before, those projects are cool too. But the ones where you see communities active that end up growing, that end up exploding, is because they're actually creating their own culture. And that's always what we've been excited about with Broadside since Mint. We were hoping that was going to happen. We had no idea it was going to be as crazy as it was.
Oh man, and there are so many talented people that, releasing their own shoes, like with using the CEO license. Um, you know, um, you get people like Dollars who, you're mentoring as well, and well, it seems like it.
I don't know if I'd say I'm mentoring. Dollars is a friend at this point. That's how I'm always thinking on what can I do to help Dollars, and what can I do to like help push Dollars further. Actually, I'm working on some stuff. I need to tell Dollars about it. I'm thinking today, but yeah, like we're always trying to work on like how can we make that, amplify that, and yeah, like what Drew is doing with B-side kicks, like amazing stuff, like, and what Benny and the team did with Roblox.
Yes,
I'm talking to Benny later today. Like I'm always trying to like anyone doing anything, like let me like be connected with them directly. Let me be pushing them.
Well, I mean, I could label our series Broadside Web3 series if you like, man. Like, like
Let's
seriously.
do it, man.
Man, like honestly, like, yeah. Again, I mean, for me, that's the biggest utility for me for Broadside is like speaking to you, getting to hear your thoughts, like being there for a long time. Um, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna throw some some because I know we're finishing, and I will let you after about 10 minutes. Obviously, I'll let you close as well. But I want to throw some recent buzzwords to you and give me some quick, snappy your thoughts on things. Just because we don't have time to go for everything, but I just want to get a feel for it. I don't know if that's something you'd be game for.
Yeah,
So,
I got like 5 minutes, man. Sorry, I've got another thing right after this. I'm just texting.
okay. Oh yeah, no problem. Okay, so um, what do you think this project's doing right? Did I even spell that right?
Huh?
That one?
What do I think Artifact's doing right? Fuck. I mean, everything. And like, if you go back, and I'm not talking about CloneX, which I think they're doing everything right on. But if you go back to like day one, who was here, who was building, who was being visionary about what the metaverse is going to look like it was Artifact. And they had a very clear goal from day one, which was we want to work with Nike. Very, very, very clear in their minds what they wanted to do, and they did it. I've met those guys personally. I think they're fucking brilliant. I love everything they do.
Okay, go. 30 seconds.
Pepe, I mean, yeah, it's amazing. This is not financial advice, but if it's meme coin summer, Pepe's fucking Bitcoin. Don't watch anything else. That's what I think. And I'm definitely someone who watches other things too. I think it's really fun.
Okay.
I think it shows you the state of the market right now. But yeah, I love Pepe. It's super bullish. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. Right. Boom.
Kigglebeats, another project doing amazing stuff. Like I think they are pushing the envelope so much in terms of what does it mean to truly have a sort of 3D metaverse ready toy. And like just everything they've done there, like Artifact, I look at them as like this is inspirational shit. Love it.
Next.
But I don't know this one. No, yeah, I mean, no, love it, of course. Like, and for the fact that Warner Brothers did this and is doing things at such a high level, and knowing the people there who did that and sold that into this company that's just been through one of the biggest changes in its history, 100-year-old company, going through the merger that they did, and to push something like this out and to deliver it at the level that they have, and they are still there doing that. And the president's PFP is a Batcowl, right? Like, it's amazing. To me, it's as amazing as things like Artifact or Bored Apes, and it doesn't get the credit from anyone in Web3. And this is a weird thing in Web3. It's like everyone talks about, we're going to onboard the next million people. And then a company like Warner Brothers tries to do something amazing, and Web3 kind of ignores it because it's Warner Brothers. It's mind-numbing to me, man. But like, it's fucking brilliant. I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of all the stuff I did on it, and more proud of all the amazing people that are continuing to work on it, and the most proud of all of the amazing community members in that project.
Right. I'm gonna give you closing thoughts on anything you like, because I know you have to go. And Matt, like I said, man, it's
Mhm.
never enough time with you, man. Never. But
Yeah.
yeah. Any closing thoughts of anything?
Yeah, I think there's better days ahead. Like, it's been a really rough couple months in Web3.
Do you
If
think
you're,
we'll ever see better days, Matt? Will we see it back?
of course,
Mm,
of course, it's just I've been here before. I felt like this before. When I
mm.
was CMO at Kraken, I could have taken my entire salary in Ethereum at $150. I was like, you know what? I don't know, this crypto stuff. We'll have to see. I'm already over leveraged on it. I bet I'll take the cash. We would be zooming from a gold yacht on the moon if I'd have done that.
Mm.
So look, I felt like this before, and I know that if you have conviction about something, when things aren't looking good, that's when you get rich. That's when you really need to make hay, because the dividends will be there. And I'm not saying this necessarily about any collections or anything. And again, I want to reiterate this. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with the entire ecosystem as it exists now, like NFTs, crypto, VC money, the banks that support them, the banks and institutions that support them. Every single layer of that thing is kind of crumbling. Like, hyperstructures are crumbling around us, and it's going to come out looking different. A lot of the centralized finance system is crumbling, which, I mean, everyone's freaking out about it, but isn't that the golden fucking opportunity
Mm.
that Web3 is? Isn't this the thing we're supposed to replace?
Mm.
So maybe this is our moment. And if it's not, just pray
Mm.
for a giant green Pepe God candle.
I
And
love
we'll all be fine.
that. You might have just pumped Pepe, right? um, hey, oh gosh, I forgot to ask you about what you think about Elon Musk and Andrew Tate. Maybe I'll do it on the next videos. Like I said, I have a list as long as my arm, so and I didn't get to cover. But
We'll
Matt,
do it next time, man.
I hope to see you soon, man. And thank you so much. And bones up. I shall see you.
Thumbs up, bro.
Shall see you on the next space and rave. All right.
Thank you, man. Take care.
Peace
Bye.
out, man.